aboard and let's have a look around. So welcome aboard. I explained that we chose PolePole because she's fast, safe and comfortable. We've talked a lot about fast and safe, and now I want to talk a bit about comfort. And the key thing about PolePole is there's so much space and so much air and so much shade. It is a fantastic platform for exploring paradise. So let's start with space. The wonderful thing here is you've got a saloon and a cockpit with that's virtually completely open and all on the same level, which they're big substantial spaces on their own, but having them completely open like this gives a much better feeling of space and light. We looked at a few boats where you would go through a door and down some steps and they're two very different rooms, and somehow that really breaks it up. So plenty of space in here. The second thing you can see everywhere is airflow. You've got big vents up here, in there and there, and those two front windows open and let through tons of air. Even if you have everything sealed up, there are two swan necks on the side that let air through if you're in really stormy conditions. So this is all obviously shady. It's got a lovely view out. So if you are in a gorgeous tropical place and you've sailed a long way to get there, you really do get to experience it very well in this fantastic space. Once you're here, let's look around the cockpit. Two things to take note of. The first is there's storage absolutely everywhere under each of these benches here. And because the steering positions are on the outside, what would normally be a great big steering position over here is this fantastic giant bed with an enormous amount of storage underneath it. So a real feature of the boat. These two tables are interchangeable, so if you want to dine outside you can do that. You can just swap them around very easily. If you come into the saloon, again, lovely big open space, everything you can want in here. From our perspective, the things that really made a difference for us are you have two big double fridges like this and a big double drawer freezer over here. So when we crossed the Pacific with 5 people on board, we were still eating fresh fruit and veg right up until the last day. There's an oven over here, stovetop, dishwasher, and then if you look around here you'll see there's clutter everywhere. Now we have just finished a 1,300-mile passage from Bali to Pancor with just 3 guys on board, so it's not looking the tidiest it's ever been. But the fantastic thing about having a cat like this with the space is you can have your things out and they stay there, unlike a monohull where you're at 45 degrees and everything falls over. So we've collected artwork and all bits of crap all around the world, and it makes it feel like a lovely space to live in. Would you like to come and have a look downstairs? Let's start with the owner's cabin. So this side, you can see a nice big bed, fantastic airflow through some big windows. We do have air conditioning here, but we've used it about 5 times in 5 years because most of the time the airflow through the boat is absolutely perfect just as it is. Loads of cupboard space, loads of drawers, loads of space to collect things. And then if you come through the bathroom area, again bright and airy, great airflow through there, a full-size shower tucked in behind here is a full-size washing machine. Something to know about this washing machine is you can only use it when the boat is in calm water, so pretty much on anchorage or in a marina. But because it's a full-size machine, it gets through the laundry pretty quickly. So in practice, that hasn't been a problem. And then everywhere you look, loads and loads of cupboard space, loads of space under the floorboards in the bilges, and plenty more everywhere you look. You never run out of space. All right, now let's go downstairs and take a look at the guest cabins. This is the smaller of the two. I mean, it's still a decent sized bed. Again, loads of storage under there, big cupboard there, and very comfortably, this one has got its own shower and toilet. And all the cabins have got their own wash basin. Through here is the guest loo. As you can see, all of the loos have got a little outdoor hatch over there, so you get fresh air, which you probably need after my cooking. And then this is the bigger of the two guest cabins. Lovely big double bed with masses of storage underneath there. This one has got its own shower in there and its own hand basin over there. Great big cupboard. Okay, well the first obvious thing to see is 80 horsepower Yanmar in there. It's turbocharged, which means that you can cruise at low revs with very good fuel efficiency. But if you do need the power, like to get into a lock or into an atoll against a tide, you have the power available. Great little engines. And then here we have got the main water maker, which does 240 litres an hour, which means even with 8 people on board, having freshwater showers, freshwater loos, you can make plenty of water in a very short space of time. This is autopilot number 1. Autopilot, the spare autopilot's on the other side. Hidden around the back here is the spare water maker. And this one only does 40 litres an hour, but it does mean that if the main water maker breaks in the middle of the ocean, no one's going to die of thirst. And here's the port engine room. And again, 80 horsepower Yanmar. The spare autopilot over here. And over here, 7.5 kilowatt Cummins Onan generator. The things I like about the steering position. The first is you feel very safe and secure. You've got a nice high wall over here. You're comfortably set back there. I've got splashed sitting here, but I've never felt in any danger of a wave coming along. The second thing is you've got fantastic visibility through all of this quadrant here. You do have restricted visibility there, although as you can see through the windows quite clearly. And if I do want to see over in that direction, I have three choices. The first is I have a video camera up in the mast, so we can look out that way. But the second is you can just stand up and you can see over the top of the roof and see whatever it is you need to see over there. You can walk up the steps, or you can walk the 9 meters and just go and have a look through that window there. So as far as visibility is concerned, it works well. And then the greatest thing about sitting here, if you're sailing, is you have the perfect view of the sails, which you don't have from any helm station that's up above the coach roof. Because here you're sitting at the outside edge of the boat, you can see both sails, you can see the telltales, and you can see exactly, how you're doing and what it is you need to do to adjust the sails. The one time you actually do need to be at a helm station is when you're going into marina and you need to catch a rope. And in that case, you are right here. If there's a rope to be thrown, it's normally at the back. You can chuck it like that. If someone's throwing a rope to you, you can get. While you're here and you're wanting to adjust sails, what you can see is all of the lines come to the cockpit. Everything you want to do on the boat, aside from flying a spinnaker, you don't need to go up to the mast. You can stay here in the safety of this cockpit. All the lines run under the deck, either through there or underneath here and then onto these winches. And you've got 4 powered winches and 2 manual winches, which mean you've got a surplus of winches to be able to run a spinnaker, a mainsail with guy ropes and spinnaker sheets all at the same time. You can handle all of that. One of the things that makes Katana unique is when it comes to the main sheet, most cats have got a big traveller along here or up on the coach roof. Quite often what happens is when there's an accidental jibe, that traveller pulls out and you'll end up with a really big problem. Basically your main engine is gone. Great thing with Katana designs is they have two main sheets and they're fixed to strong points right here. So these just don't rip out. They've got huge backing plates behind them. And then you have the most perfect sail control. So if, for instance, I want to change the angle on the boom, I can do that very quickly from here. And I'm going to let out a bit of sail, and there's my boom going out, right? But then maybe we're in very light winds here and I've got a bit too much curve in the sail. So maybe what I want to do is change that curve by running the winch on the other side, which then exhibits downhaul on the sail and straightens out the sail. So you can adjust the sail angle and the sail bend with these two sheets. Finally, if you're going to be sailing downwind, which, you know, if you're doing the milk run like we did, you're going to be doing a lot of, you're going to spend a lot of time with the mainsail out trying to catch relatively light winds. And in that case, you can take the main sheet off the pad eye here and stick it on a pad eye out there. And this enables you to do two things. First of all, it gets the boom out lovely and wide, so you catch whatever wind you can. But secondly, you've got an inbuilt preventer. So if someone inexperienced is on watch in the middle of the night and they jibe by mistake, your main sheet is acting as your preventer and keeps you safe. Another great feature of Katana design is the layout of the nav station. So the first thing about it, and the thing I really love about it, is you have this fantastic 180-degree view looking out you. You've got a very comfortable chair that you can swivel in and out. And this is where we spend 99% of our time on passage because it's just so comfortable and convenient. You've got everything you need to run the boat from here. A couple of big screens, the generator, radio, absolutely everything. And you also have all the electronics, fuse boxes, everything else underneath here. So it's a really useful compact space. It is a quirky little Katana thing, but I think it just kind of exemplifies the Katana design philosophy, which is the way these davits, they're not in the middle of the boat, they're slightly moved over to the side. And the reason for that is when you put your dinghy in, the engine doesn't go clonking against your fiberglass over there, and you can get out very easily because the soft part of the dinghy is up against the other hull, so you can get out very easily over there. And then the dinghy comes hard against the davits, so in really rough seas it's held absolutely firm. You don't need to be tying extra ropes to it or anything else. The dinghy just sits there totally comfortable, and you're very comfortable. It's not going to go flying. Let's take a look around the outside of the boat. So first thing you notice here is you don't have lines running along the deck, and this is something Katana do very well. All the lines come through here or come under the floorboards altogether over there, so you're not forever stubbing your toe and catching yourself when you walk through here. Next thing you notice is these enormous dagger boards. When fully down, the boat points to windward extremely well. But the thing you'll notice about them is that they're curved. So what that means is that when the wind is blowing hard and the boat has some heel, the dagger board that's on the leeward side gives it some lift, and the dagger board that's on the windward side is then vertical and very efficient. So it's quite an engineering feat to have these incredibly long dagger boards curved like this, but you do feel the performance when you're sailing, and it's a real boon. Nice big windlass, 2,500 watts in there. We've got a 12mm chain and a 55 kilogram anchor, and this windlass can pick it up out of really deep waters, absolutely no problem. And then The salient feature here is, again, space. So when you want to chill out, this is a fantastic place to do it. We've been many times crossing the Atlantic, crossing the Pacific, where come sunset, the whole crew will have a cushion out here, just enjoying watching the sun go down. Beautiful, peaceful place to sit. You've got the sails above you, wind in your hair, fantastic. But the other place where there's lots of space is in these enormous lockers, which means that you've got one there, and you've got big sail locker there and a big sail locker there. And if you look through our inventory, you can see we've got an enormous sail wardrobe with probably way too many sails. But the great thing is there's more than enough space to put them together with the toys, inflatable kayak, stand-up paddle boards, kite surfers, all the rest of it, which eventually you want to, everybody wants to take with them. So again, one of the great things about this boat is you'll just never run out of places to keep things. It's also a problem because it's so tempting to do so. Up on the coach roof here, you can see we've installed new solar panels on the front, which have been very efficient. To be honest, the ones at the back are pretty crap. And those were the ones that originally installed by the factory. And I'm seriously thinking about ripping them out and doing something with them. But these new ones are fantastic and very efficient. The sail bag and lazy jacks and all has just been redone a year ago. So aside from the fact that one of those is obviously broken, but is a lovely safe place to keep your sail. And you don't have the problems of furling or anything else that go with it. So that's Katana for you. I think that's it.